Good morning, friends, and welcome to Darvanalee Designs Studio. For those that don't know, my name's Nicole, and today we're here for the 5th of February. We're going to be doing a crafting vlog today, a little bit of a relaxed crafting vlog today. So let's get started. Good morning or good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the studio. Today I am going to show you what I got done last night on my cross stitch, and also I started another project, so we're going to check out that as well. So today is going to be a fairly relaxed day. It's an overcast day here in Kingaroy, but I have reading and productivity sprints on my other channel called Dusty Book Sniffers. And those astute people that were watching the other day when I done the opening, I can't remember what day it was now, where I accidentally said Dusty Book Sniffers, and I didn't even notice in the editing process as well. So I'm assuming that a lot of people were slightly confused on what was happening on that day. But anyway, I laugh at myself sometimes, the silly mistakes that I make. But anyway, and I don't beat myself up about it. It happened. It's my life. It's how things go. So today's a pretty relaxed day in the studio. I'm not too sure how much sewing I'm going to get because, as I said, today is a day that I am on Dusty Book Sniffers. I'm solo hosting today, so that means that I have to pay attention to what's happening over there. And so I'm thinking that I'm probably just going to get a little bit of more crochet done, and I may even do a little bit of cross stitch today, depends how I feel. And I may look at sewing up the quilt a bit later today, but you may see that in tomorrow's vlog because it'll just depend what time I do that. But my main focus today is to do some reading and to do some admin work for the booktube. So a lot of in front of the computer stuff. Not very exciting for you guys, but that's the day in a life of me. So I basically just have to do all these things. I am feeling very productive right now. I'm feeling very motivated. Also by some of the comments that I've been receiving from people as well on, they're so excited to see me back crafting again, because a lot of my online friends know that if I go quiet, then I'm struggling. And so it's been great. People have really embraced these daily vlogs and realized what I'm doing. And some people are probably thinking to themselves, why is this woman doing this? And it is to help me get motivated, to get back into the swing of things, to love my craft again and all the things. Because while I haven't got half the things that a lot of people have got with menopause and all the rest of it, my biggest one has been lack of motivation, a lack of wanting to do anything, which comes under motivation. Also just not caring, and basically also just feeling very depressed and flat. I have opted to just let things naturally play out. And talking with my doctor and stuff like that, we're keeping a close eye on it. And if I need medication, then, we'll go down that route. And I just don't want to go down that route. And it's not for any political reason or anything like that. I just don't want to go down that route. I don't want it to become dependent on something to give me a mood. I would rather adapt to what I am feeling, because I've always been a big believer in running through the emotions, feeling all the things. But I'm also not a stupid person either, where I work closely in conjunction with my doctor, and my doctor is keeping an eye on it. And, I'm talking about it. I do have a bad habit of isolating myself. I've had that habit since I was a little kid. Because, things happen in your life and you become self-reliant in a way, so asking for help is a big deal. But I've known my doctor for over 20 years now. She's been my doctor, and of course she is a female, so herself is going through, I think she's about 2 years older than me, so at the same time we're going through it together. So it's actually, it is good that I can talk to my doctor. Don't think I'm being silly or anything like that and just not wanting to take medication. I just want to go through it naturally. I've always been that way inclined. And it is a struggle. It is actually a struggle. And some days I think it'd be just easier to go and get a patch and all the things. But for the most part, I am cruising along, apart from the depression. I was lucky enough not to get hot flushes or anything like that. So praise the powers that be. However, a lot of things have dissipated for me that I struggled with all my life. And one of the biggest things was the headaches that I used to get with hormonal fluctuation. So I could at any given time have migraine headaches or severe headaches, not necessarily a migraine, but bordering on it. And I could get that up to 3 times a week, and they could last for anywhere from a day to a week. So much so that my husband was concerned that I actually had a brain tumor at one stage, and I had to go to the doctors just to appease him, and all the things. And basically the doctor said, you know, it is hormonal fluctuations. This is a common thing with Nicole. This is, you know, just to put his mind at ease, because he was very worried. And so, which helped, because then he became accommodating for those headaches and realizing that I couldn't function. Like, it was brain fog and all that sort of stuff. And then, you know, throw in perimenopause as I was getting older, and then, you know, thyroid conditions and all that sort of stuff. It was just a party over here. But a lot of those things have now dissipated, so I don't have those anymore, with the hormonal fluctuations now gone, even though there is still some hormonal stuff going, and I still do occasionally get a headache, but it's not 3 times a month. Not at the, you know, ovulation stage, not at the beginning of my period, and not at the end of my period. So I know that a lot of people don't like to talk about this sort of stuff, but these are just the things that I've been going through lately. And, you know, if we don't talk about it, some people might think that they're going batshit crazy, because that's what I thought was going on, that I was just going batshit crazy. And for the most part, I probably was, but, you know, you've got to laugh about these things and all that sort of stuff, and just talk to your girlfriends about it. If you don't want to talk to a doctor or anything like that, talk to your girlfriends. You know, share what you're going through, because chances are they're going through it too, or something very similar. So yeah, anyway. That's where we're at. So it has been really nice that everybody's like really encouraging me to keep going. They're loving them. One of my friends is using it she's on night shift this week, so she's using it to wind down and feeling very motivated by it. It's keeping me very motivated too, doing these vlogs and everything. You know, just getting stuff done, and it's helping me to feel less overwhelmed, I guess, is how I'm feeling right now. Because at one stage there, I was looking at my disaster area of a quilting room and sewing room and thinking, I just can't do it. And I'd go and read a book or something like that. So doing these daily vlogs and making myself accountable is really working for me. And so I, you know, like this week I've got bags made. I haven't made any bags over the Christmas period or anything like that. I've got bags in preparation to make as well, which I haven't had for quite some time. And, you know, I'm using up the orphan block. So I've got ideas, and the creative juices are starting to flow. So it's been a really cathartic experience doing these vlogs. Am I going to continue doing them forever and a day? I don't know. I'm just going with the flow right now and seeing where it takes me. But I'm enjoying doing them. And, you know, I may scale down to maybe 1 or 2 a week as time goes on. But for the most part, I've got a lot of stuff going on in the studio. So I would love to share that with you. And I do appreciate everybody that has been liking the videos, leaving comments, even if it's just, you know, an emoji. It lets me know that you've watched that far. And, you know, and the encouragement has just been absolutely fantastic. And thanks, Jenny. Thanks for the measurements. I screenshotted that. I've started up a new measurements book, and I've put it on my shelf so it won't accidentally get thrown out this time. So that will be in there. So thank you, Jenny, for that. Jenny answered the call for, hey, can you send me those measurements again? And I got a lovely message saying, oh, that gave me quite a chuckle. So, hey, at least I'm entertaining, right? So yeah, so all right, enough about all of that, but just thank you so much, everybody, for your encouraging words, your emojis, your likes, all the things that do. you know, and just being here for me as a little bit of moral support as we go, tread through the stage of menopause and heading into my crone period. So, which I embrace wholly and solely. I love the fact that I don't have to, like, I've got my hair's, I don't know, it's doing its thing today because there's a lot of humidity and it's just like, so it is what it is today. But I'm so glad I've embraced the grey. You know, I've just embraced so many things at this period that I'm going into of this stage of my life. Like and to add insult to injury, I've also gone through like kids leaving home. Like there are no kids here anymore. So Mia's back with her mum and everything's going really well there. You know, Neralee's off doing her thing and finding herself and enjoying life, and Savannah's at uni, and Brendan's hard at work trying to organise everything so we can, you know, retire soon and all that sort of stuff, because that's not far off. Like, you know, and I'm trying to just keep myself busy, and I think I've adapted to it pretty well. So, you know, lots of stuff has been happening here too. In the Reed household itself. So, and of course I've renovated the library and I've decided to pull the house apart. I'm starting to think that, you know, when you're pregnant, you do that nesting thing. Well, when you're an empty nester, you try to declutter. I think that's the phase that I've gone in. Like, I've become ruthless. Stuff that I would have held on to, I'm just chucking. I mean, I'm taking it to charity and stuff like that. I'm not just chucking it out. I'm taking it to charity and someone else might get use out of it. One of the rooms that I have been putting off is the little cubby hole. That's what I call it, the cubby hole, because everybody just dumps their shit in there. And it is all just shit. So anyway, that's all just in there. And that's, so sorry about my cuss words, but that's the only way to describe that room. And I'm sure if you were honest, you've probably got one of those rooms in your house too, like that you think, oh my God, I need to do something with it. Well, I'm going to be doing something with it. I am going to be turning that into a diamond painting room. I do have an architect table and all that sort of stuff to put in there. I looked at it last night and I don't think I need to paint. I just need to get everything out of there, give it a really good clean, wipe down the walls, all that sort of stuff. But I don't think I need to paint in there. So I'm pretty excited about that because that has just freed up a ton of time. But anyway, I've waffled on enough this morning. Let's see what I got up to last night while I turn the camera around. Okay, so I only spent an hour on this last night because I ended up doing some crochet. And I was at 47%. I'm now at 55%. So I got a few more motifs in. So I am definitely making progress. And now that I've got my rhythm with the floss and everything, so I don't have to keep threading and ending and all that sort of hoo-ha, it's going a little bit faster. So as I said yesterday, I do have some backstitch up here. And no, it doesn't import into Pattern Keeper, and I knew that. I don't know why I was second guessing myself. So no, it doesn't, the backstitch doesn't import in it, but if you go into your Pattern Keeper pattern that you've put in there and you go to view PDF in this, you will see all the backstitching there once this gets uploaded. So you can upload it into, I am going to just change it because right now, the way I've got it set up, it is actually colors, which is easy enough. But it makes it a little bit difficult to see what's going on because it doesn't highlight it like it normally does with symbols. So I'm going to change it to symbols and just make sure that I get it all uploaded properly. So I'll just it'll be all good by the time it gets to you. If it's not, let me know. But anyway, that's where we're at. And I'm pretty happy with the progress that I'm making. It's a little bit slow going because I just wanted to get that crochet project started, and I did. So let's go and check out what I got done with that. Okay, so the scarf that I'm working on is the, oh, hang on, let me just go back to the picture, is the, it's called the Etter's Cowl. It is by the Creative Crochet Corner. You will see a link down below, and they have a website where you can go and get this pattern. When I got it, it was free. I have not checked to see if it's still free, but they do have a tutorial on how to do the gauge swatch, so it gives you an idea. And this one actually has it is all double crochet except for maybe 3, I think, are trebles, and that is on the side of the scarf. So It's just so it gets the height and whatnot. So that is what it looks like. I love these colors. This colorway is not available anymore in the Karen cakes. And they used a Karen cake skinny cake. I think they're called Karen skinny cakes. And they are the ones, I do have one here. I'll just go grab it and show you what it looks like. So if you've been around for a while, you would have seen me use this colorway with the shawl that I made. But this is it, and so you need one of these, and they use all but about 10 yards, and that's just because the creator of it got very particular where she finished her her cowl and whatnot. So it's quite a large one. It'll wrap around a couple of times. I, however, am not using a skinny cake. I didn't really find something apart from this one. I don't really find a lot of the colorways appealing to me in that in this range. So this one I will probably make something out of this. If I don't make one of these shawls, I may end up making, not shawls, sorry, cowl. I might make it out of this. I'll see how I go. But I am using this one here. So you can see here, it's a little bit different. Like with these Karen cakes and all that sort of stuff, the variegation in this is quite long. This one, however, is quite short, and I'm okay with that. I like the colorway. I don't really care if it's a short one. Whereas with this cowl, you can see with the skinny Karen cakes, you can get quite lengthy colors as well. So they do stitch up quite beautifully. And I probably will when I love this colorway. I would love to have this because it's got the purple and the teal and stuff in it, but it's just not available anymore. I can't find it anywhere. So, but that's okay. That is fine. I'm sure I will find something as they bring out more flavors, or colors. I will find something. So this is the colorway that I'm using, and I really like this one. And this is what I got done last night. So I did the first 5 rows. Okay, and that gives us our pattern. So let me just bring up the camera a little bit closer, and then that way you can see. And this is just going to sit in my basket. So this, what I'm showing you here now, is actually 5 rows. So let me bring this up so you can have a look. So that is 5 rows. And so it's a 4-row repeat. So the first row, it was our foundation row. And then rows 2 to 5 repeat themselves over and over 31 times. Okay, and that gives us, so I've started this row, like row 2 on the pattern. Now let me just bring up the pattern so I can show you. So let me get rid of that. Let me put that just there. So it's a pattern repeat. I've done the first 5, okay, and now I'm to the repeat pattern, which is from here up. So that's from 2 to 5 up. And basically when I get to the end, I think I do to 5, and then I only repeat one more time, 2 to 4, and then I finish off, because then I'll join it together into a circle. So that is what it is. And that's what it looks like. Right now, like looking at it, I don't think, like, there's just sporadic colours through that. Autumn burnt orange looks really, really nice, and the yellow, just little poppets of it. But you can see there, it's coming along really nicely. Now, I'm also got another crochet, but this one is really easy. So this one's good for me to do at night. The other one I have to concentrate a little bit harder on, because the simple fact is that I've got to go down, like instead of like this one where I'm stitching into a chain, I've actually got to go down a row, like miss the first chain and then go down to the second one and then put my stitches in there, and that can be a little bit difficult. Now I'll just go grab it and show you. So it's taking me a little bit longer to create that one. Okay, so this is the Zigzag Infinity scarf that I'm doing. The creator is an Australian designer, and it's Wheelie Makes It Crochet. Is the pattern that I'm using. Now this is quite stiff, and I'm really struggling with this one because you don't go into the chain, you actually go down to the next the row below that, and that's where you start to put them in. Now I've got the hang of the zigzag. While it looks a little bit messy, this is the first time I've ever done anything like this, and this yarn that I'm using is pretty crappy, to say the least. Like, it splits, the twist in it's not super tight or anything like that, so it's given me a bit of grief. Anyway, it's an acrylic as well, which is surprising because normally acrylic's pretty good. But what I'm having problems with, like the single crochet, I'm loving that. I think it looks good and all that sort of stuff. These panels are 9 inches. This is 3 inches, and I'm going to do 4 of these. So it's going to be a decent size cowl. I may end up only doing 3 because I'm about to actually go up a hook size. Now, the creator was said that you just go up a hook size and all the rest of it than what the what yarn says, and I did that, but I feel like it needed to be a bit bigger because I don't know, it just doesn't have much drape. It's quite stiff. It's going to be super warm and whatnot, and I'm basically going, because I've made a few errors on the side and all that sort of stuff, but I'm going to finish it off with some single crochet. So I'm going to do like 2 rows of single crochet up the side before I join it together, and then that'll give it a nice little finish on the side. So I'm not overly concerned about my sides right now. I just struggled so much with this, and I think that this is more of an advanced person's one, but hey, it's nothing like me jumping in the deep end and all the things. So that's one that I don't do this at night because I find that I'm too tired and I make even more mistakes and I have to pull it out. So I've stopped working on this at night, and I only work on this during the day or on Thursdays when I do the live stream on the channel for the craft productivity. So that's sort of where I'm at the moment. But what I'm going to do now, I'm at the point where I'm about to go into the next divider, which is the single crochet. I'm actually going to go up a couple of hook sizes. I'm actually going to go up to an 8, so double the hook size, because Christina, a friend of mine, online friend, bookish friend, actually decided to do hers with a size 10 hook, I think she said, and it worked out so much better. It was so much easier and all that sort of stuff as well. So you can see there, like, you're going down below it. So this is one row here, and there's the other row, and you can see you're going down below it. But it's a beautiful pattern. This would make a really lovely blanket, like doing 10-inch squares or even 20-inch squares, and having it alternate through without the single crochet, just this here, because it's so thick, like, and so dense. There's no real drape to it. So I'm hoping going up a hook size is going to give me more drape. I've got plenty of yarn to do it. And it's a learning curve, you know, like I'm learning. I'm just going to change it like I do some other things to suit and all that sort of stuff. So that's where I'm at the moment with that. But as I said, I only do this during the day because I need to concentrate, and I also need really good light for it to see where I'm going. But this one here, I'm loving this. Like, even though I paid $1 for this yarn, and I got a whole heap. I got quite a number of balls for it, so I can make a couple of scarves if I wanted to out of it. And it's very soft. It's going to feel nice. It's very drapey. And one thing I have learned in the last couple of weeks of crocheting, I definitely like the lacy look. I definitely like working with the lacy look as opposed to the more dense. So yeah, so I think from now on, when I look for things, I'm going to look for a little bit of a lacier look to things. And even when I'm searching for stuff, I'm drawn to that sort of stuff. So, you know, make what you're drawn to, right? So yeah, so basically what will happen is I'll do this. So I'm going to repeat rows 2 to 5 31 times, and then on the 36th one I do 2 to 4, and then basically what will happen is it will come back around and it'll join onto this. So these are quite loopy, like you can see there's a lot of give to them, so I'll be able to join it through. I mean, alternatively, it'd make it just a great wrap scarf anyway. So yeah, even if I didn't turn it into a cowl. So yeah, and I might have enough to actually, you know, have the cowl, and then for those not so hot days, have a scarf, and yeah, go from there. So that is my crochet where I'm at. This one is just a hot mess, but I think I'm going to be able to make something of it, and it'll be good for when I'm out in the garden in winter. When I'm going for my walks early hours of the morning in winter and all that sort of stuff. It's going to keep me warm, and it'll probably keep me really warm when I go to the UK in 2026. So yeah, there's all that. All right, I've got to skedaddle and start sprints up, and I am probably just going to potter today. I generally don't do much on a Wednesday anyway. It just depends how busy I am. But yeah, I'm just going to potter. I'm probably going to work on that quilt, start getting that sewn together. I'm going to do some crochet, may even pull out my pencils and all that sort of stuff as well. All right. So I decided that while I was doing some sprints today, it's such a cozy day that I thought I would get some crochet in. So I thought I would do another 5 rows, and yeah, that's what I ended up doing. So I'm just sitting out the front on my little couch there. Unfortunately, my ball of wool did not open how I wanted to do, so I've got to unravel the yarn before I can start, which is quite frustrating. But anyway, because normally I take it from the center. But I have been teaching myself how to crochet, and I must admit, I am really enjoying it. I'm glad that I'm persevering. I have 3 projects on the go. I have a blanket, which is little granny squares, which I'm hoping to get some done on the weekend for that. I've sort of slotted down an hour to 2 hours on the weekend to get 1 or 2 granny squares done. I think it takes me about 30 minutes at the moment, but I am getting quicker because it used to take me an hour. So I'm making a daisy blanket with that, and then I've got this cowl that I'm working on that you've seen earlier, and I've also got the other cowl that I'm working on as well, which is really testing my patience. It's just because it's more of an advanced, I feel like it's more of an advanced project, whereas this one that I'm working on now, if you know your basic stitches such as double crochet and your trebles in US terms, then you will be able to do this without a problem, because it's just a 5-row repeat, and basically it's all double crochet except for, I think there's 3 or 4 trebles that you do, and they're on the side just to make it larger. So this, I find, like, it's not very often that I can find a project or a craft that is very zen and very relaxing. And while I'm crocheting, I try not to listen to any audiobooks or, you know, have noise happening. So it's a very quiet, in the moment sort of craft for me. And it's really helping me to focus and relax and be a little bit more gentle on myself. So today, you know, like, I've woken up this morning and I'm fine. I've had a good night's sleep and all that sort of stuff, but it's a cozy sort of day. So I'm sort of just going with the flow. I still managed, as you've seen, I'd done a little bit of computer work and all that sort of stuff, and I still managed to cross 5 things off my weekly list. So the list that I wrote out the other morning on Monday was for the week. of everything that I want to achieve. Right now I'm not super busy, so I can take the time to relax and do the things that I want to do. Tomorrow is crafty sprints, where we do a lot of productivity. We do 3 sprints of 45 minutes and we just focus on our craft, and then we'll chat for a little bit, and then we'll do another 45-minute sprint, and that's what we've been doing for the last couple of weeks. And I will work on that other grey scarf that you seen earlier during that time. But what I find too, crochet is a good end of day project for me because it helps me to unwind, and it does make me a bit sleepy. Not because it is boring or anything like that, because I love creating things. It's just that it's so repetitive and your hands are moving so quick, your eyes are starting to get tired. And you can see here, this is not sped up or anything. I am actually getting faster with my crochet. When I first started, I was extremely slow. As I said, a small granny square was taking me almost an hour. But I feel like I've really got my rhythm now with my double crochets and my trebles and my single crochet. They are the 3 stitches that I have learned, and I've got this book, which I'll have to pull out, and it's got 400 different, I think it's 400. I've got a knitting one and a crochet one, and it has all these different stitches in it. So I'm planning on trying to do some different stitches, and I may end up just getting some cheap yarn and doing swatches, so 10-inch swatches or something like that, and maybe make a couple of blankets, one each for the girls or something like that, and send it on down to them with different yarns, and I can just practice them, with some cheap yarns from the cheap shops here in town. Like the yarn that I'm using here, I got for $1. That it must have been on special. I thought it was $2.99, but it was $1 when I got to the checkout. So I was pretty happy with that, and I think I got 9 or 10 balls of it, because I figured I can make a couple of different styles of scarves. Like this one's going to be a cowl. I could just make it a normal scarf and not have it in a circle. There's lots of different things that I can do, and I thought a great way to try all those different stitches would be to make a couple of blankets, and that way I can practice and I can get a little bit better at it, and the more I do it, the better off I'm going to be. So that's sort of what my plan is. I do have quite a large collection now of different crochet patterns that I want to do. Like I've got projects that I'm going to be doing this winter. I've got a big blanket one. I definitely wasn't going to start it in summer, and it's calling for baby yarn, so I've got to go to Spotlight and get some of that. I don't really have the colours down here at Kingaroy, so I'm going to have to go to the big smoke, as they say, and grab myself some baby yarn, and then I'll be able to make that blanket. And it's an absolute gorgeous blanket, but you'll see that when it comes up. But today I just wanted to take that moment to relax and recharge a little bit. Middle of the week, I'm still getting stuff done. I got basically a lot of Patreon stuff done for the BookTube channel as well. So, and I'm doing a little bit more designing this afternoon, and getting that all sorted as well. So just slowly moving on, and getting all the things that I need to get done. So you can see there, I'm just looking over at my tablet because it's got the pattern on it, and I'm just making sure that I'm doing the right thing, because I'm still learning, and changing the rows and everything like that when you go back to repeat a pattern, that's where I've sort of got to stop and think, because I get a little bit confused on what I'm doing. But that's also to be expected when you're learning something as well. So I think I've come a long way in a short space of time. I started doing some crochet in the middle of last year, probably around June last year, I think it was, beginning of July. And or it might have been a bit earlier than that, it might have been May. I started doing the granny squares. I've got about 15 of them done. I need 60 of them, but it's a project that I just do every now and again. And that way I can just, relax when I'm doing it. There's no end game for it. Yes, it's going to look great in the library once it's done. Originally I was going to make it for Mia, but she likes more rainbow stuff, so I'm thinking that I'm going to maybe make her a blanket with just big squares in it. I've got this other pattern, and it just calls for big squares, and do them in different colors. And I think there's like 9 in it, and it gives you quite a substantial size blanket, because the granny squares are like, I think they're like 20 inches in size, so they're quite big, 20-inch squares. So I'm looking forward to getting that done for her as well. So you can see here I'm actually counting. I'm like, have I made a mistake? Have a bit of a think. And then I realized that I hadn't made a mistake. I'd done the right thing. It was just the way it was sitting in my hand, so it's all good. And when you see it like afterwards, it's turned out quite fine. I was just not sure whether I had done that to start the pattern over again, whether I had done it right or not. But I'm going to continue doing the crochet, and I'll be back to wrap up. Okay, so I got a fair bit, well, I consider a fair bit because I'm fairly slow at crochet. So I got some more of that done, and I'm going to probably do a little bit more tonight, but I've just got to the time of the day where the neighbours are starting to really crank up their music and all the rest of it, so I'm just going to call it a day and get out of this front room for a bit, because I've been listening to doof doof music while doing sprints and doing a few other things around the house and all the rest of it. But I think I'm just going to go, it's a nice rainy day here, so this afternoon I'm going to go and curl up and listen to, or read rather, some Wilkie Collins, The Law and the Lady. So I'm going to read that this afternoon, and I think I've only got about 150 pages to go in it, so hopefully I can get it done today. But I'm really enjoying this classic. Like, this is basically, it's like a mystery, and it's also from a female perspective as well, which is really unusual when they talk about law or anything like that. It's normally from a man's perspective for this age of this novel. And so basically we've got a man and a woman that got married against the wishes of their families, and basically the woman finds out that her husband married her under a false name, and she goes to find out why that is, and why he's lied to her and all that sort of stuff. And she finds out that he has done something, and so she's setting out to prove that he didn't do it, and where she's sort of investigating, I guess you would say, and she's going around and talking to people that were involved in it and all that sort of stuff, that were witnesses and whatnot, and she's talking to them, and she's trying to solve it, because he has a verdict hanging, a Scots verdict is what they call it, hanging over his head, where the jury did not find him guilty, nor did they find him innocent. They just feel that they couldn't give their opinion whether he was guilty or innocent, and that is not a great place to be, apparently. So she's trying to work out why, and solve the mystery of what, well, not really the mystery, but it's a lot of it is a mystery to her. So yeah, but I'm really enjoying it. Like, I don't often fall into a book like I have with this one, and I'm just, especially classics, usually it takes me a little while to find my footing and whatnot. And this probably only took about 4 or 5 pages, and I was right into the story, because it was like, it's paced pretty good as well. And I'm really enjoying Wilkie Collins, so I want to visit a few more of Wilkie Collins' books. I just really enjoy his writing, and of course, you know, I'm doing my crochet, and but I'll be reading this afternoon. I'll probably do a little bit more of this tonight, but it's turning out so pretty, don't you reckon? Like, that's such a nice, even though it's a short variegation, it's really pretty. I really like it. Anyway, on that note, as I said, I'm going to go and get away from the doof doof music. We have new neighbours across the road, so that's always great. So yeah, I'm going to get away from the doof doof music. I'd just like to say thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so, and also hit that like button, and leave me a comment down below. What you're working on today while you're watching, or are you just got it playing in the background? Let me know. I always like to know what everybody's doing when they're watching the videos. But as always, thank you so much for being here. I'm out of here. You have a wonderful day no matter where you are, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now.